Hey, what is up, everybody? Hunter here, and today's conversation is with the founder of Soul Sniper XYZ. Now, this conversation is extremely relevant as we see the meme coin trenches trading and the need for edge become excessively necessary. We have a market where the casino has completely turned upside down. And to find the next great token that is going to do 1000x, to get early enough on the next drop that you know is coming, you need the right tools, you need the right information, and that requires having the right service. Now, Maz, the founder that we have this conversation with, walks through how they are providing these tools to traders and how they are developing what Beanie has termed as the trading layer. DeFi tools are one thing that we've seen really become prevalent within the entire trading industry, but it's exciting to see how Soul Sniper is developing internally a ecosystem that works all alongside each other to provide those tools to traders. It's a great conversation. I enjoy it. I think it's one that if you're a trader is worth watching and listening to. And I think there's some really good market insights that are helpful to kind of get your kind of thumb on like the pulse or finger on the pulse of what is happening at a larger macro level for the not only Solana ecosystem but the entire altcoin ecosystem. But yeah, it's a great conversation. I enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. As always, thank you for watching these videos. It means a ton. And I'm grateful to have great guests like Maz and Soul Sniper on. But with that said, sit back, enjoy, and here is Maz from Soul Sniper. In the world of trading right now, there's a main huge focus on meme coins, and all the volume is there, all the attention is there, all the volume is there. And you start out with Soul Sniper, focused primarily with the NFT market for Solana-based NFTs. Now that you are starting to see this attention shift, you guys have shifted away from primarily only serving the Solana NFT community into a broader community of helping people be copy traders, helping people snipe, helping people even the paper trading side. You are servicing a larger audience, and it's so cool to see that. I think today's conversation will be informative from the perspective of you've seen so much. You have a very I would say strong background on the dev side, and I think your decisions kind of show the shift the industry's taking. So I'm really excited to have this conversation. I think the best other way to start off, because also, by the way, I'm a little rusty on the interviews. It's been a minute since we've done them since Paris. Is explaining your background, what Soul Sniper is, and I think also just how you're viewing the market from a company's perspective.
Yeah, cool. Maybe I can just start by introducing myself. My name's Maz. My real name is Max, but my last name starts with a Z, and I glued them together. So that's like my internet name. But I'm the founder of Soul Sniper, right? I started a little more than 3 years ago now. And then when I first started Soul Sniper, I was just like a dev at Amazon, basically, and I was like trenching NFTs on the side. So I'd be like in Discord, like running around, and like at the time I couldn't afford anything on ETH because I was like, bro, I'm not going to pay $100 to make a transaction. That's like retarded. And so what I ended up doing was while I was kind of like buying Solana NFTs, I noticed kind of this gap in the market where they were missing like really basic trading tools such as like charts and like portfolio tracking and like aggregation. And so that was basically kind of like the first year and a half of Soul Sniper. It was like basically building a lot of the like necessary tools for NFT traders. And then kind of fast forward a little bit, we launched our own marketplace as well as our own launch pad. And so that was a lot of like 2023, 2024, right? And I think that was actually like our most like lucrative little run there because like what I didn't realize before we did the launch pad was we would have this really amazing synergy between NFT launches and NFT trading. And then kind of, the kind of sad part about all of this is like as we've been building for 3 years, we've kind of seen the NFT market actually decline year over year, month over month, week over week. And so obviously we saw meme coins like over a year ago, right? Because that's when some of my friends were like, "Oh, I don't want to trade NFTs. I want to trade meme coins." I was like, "What's that?" And that actually inspired a lot of what we tried to do around hybrid NFTs. So we thought, well, like we still believe in NFTs, we still really like NFTs. Let's try to bring, some of that NFT like culture, some of that NFT like provenance into meme coins, right? It didn't really work out super well, to be honest. And so from there, right, we've kind of just fully locked in on just like, okay, like, like unfortunately, we haven't had massive success, like kind of with like this combination of meme coins and NFTs. We've gone super deep on the NFT side. What happens if we try to go really deep on the meme coin side? And so, over the last, I think it's been about 69 days. We've been just really locked in on basically like building different meme coin products. So we kind of started with this like bot that allows you to look at CAs on Twitter, right? So it's like a Chrome extension that was called SniperX. Then we built a Telegram bot. So it works just like any other Telegram bot, like Trojan. But what's cool about it is you can use it to copy trade your group chats. After we did that, we also built this Twitter monitor for Telegram. So something I'd like to try to demo later is like
let's do it. Live demo.
Snipe Kanye West coin, right? And just show people how that works. And then most recently, we launched this paper trading feature, which is getting a lot of traction for kind of like right now, this kind of market downturn.
I think that's for so many people that are building right now, and it's interesting. I have a lot of builders and like devs that actually watch these interviews. Having the ability to like notice that there's like a gap in the market, but you're positioned well from like a tech side and like understanding where you can build is so important. Because 2021 NFTs were the thing, and we did kind of have that like soul NFT moment, but today it is dead. Like I went and looked. Pudgy Penguins have had like 10 sales in the last 24 hours. And obviously they were very liquid going into the airdrop, but post that, I think it might be less than that. It might have been like 5 in the last 24 hours. But like NFTs just aren't moving. You have to be able to move into other areas. I'm curious, in your mind, in your head of like watching the NFT market specifically, do you think, how do you view it from like a market participant standpoint right now? Because you have Magic Eden, Blur, and OpenSea are like the big three right now. Each of them is starting to become more multi-chain focused. But you guys have like still on like the Sniper.xyz side are still primarily focused on Solana. Just how do you view like that, like, everybody else is becoming like this just big monolithic thing that does everything, but you're very specialized for one specific like niche?
Yeah, well, I kind of grew up on Solana, so for me, right, like I never made sense to me. I was like, because my background, I was a software engineer at Amazon. I was just like really into tech, right? And for me, good technology, good tech, right, always has to be cheaper, better, faster. And for me, like when I went to try Ethereum for the first time, because the first time I tried to buy an NFT, right, I was on OpenSea. And when I tried to do it for the first time, I was like, oh my God, like this is worse than Venmo. And like, I just couldn't see how like long term, like that's like my conviction bet is like, how does that like become, like something that I genuinely see is mass adopted. And so I guess in terms of, and plus like Soul Sniper is a really small team, right? We're like less than like 7 people. And it's like, 4 devs, not including myself, right? And so we're a really small team. We just don't have the bandwidth to be like, okay, now we're going to go to Ethereum and Monad and like, Abstract and like insert X chain here, right? And the way I almost look at it, like my favorite business right now is actually like In-N-Out Burger, right? And their menu is like 3 items, and they don't do any like special items. They don't do any like whatever, and they just get really good at those like 3 items that they serve. That's kind of like the way I view Solana. It's like I just want to serve Solana really well. I want to build the best products on Solana, and I'm not really going to focus on the other chains. I hope all the other marketplaces are very successful. Like I'm rooting for them. I hope the NFT market is worth $1 trillion. But I think for us, right, it's like it doesn't. The way I view competition is like they don't have to lose for us to win, and vice versa. Like In-N-Out is only the ninth largest fast food chain, right? Like McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, they're all doing really well. So that's kind of the way I look at it.
Facts, big facts from Maz. All right, so let's pivot over to meme coins, right? Because I think NFTs right now it's very boring. There's not too much happening.
Mhm.
This pivot into meme coins. What in this day and age to be a profitable meme coin trader, you
Mhm.
need to have more than just a trading terminal and jump in. Like you have to have edge. You have to have these tools. You guys are building that. And I
Mhm.
think the other area here is you also and the dad in me, not that I'm a dad, but like I always say it's the dad joke. People are like, what should I do? What's the first thing I should buy if I'm like trying to get into trading? And I always say buy a notebook. And that's like such a like Jesus Christ, like shut the fuck up, tell me what to buy.
Mhm.
But you have to like go and learn and practice and like not use real money first. And you guys have come out with paper trading, which I think is a significant thing. We haven't, nobody else has gone down this route. And I think
Mhm.
it's a really good top of funnel for newcomers in the space to get comfortable and be comfortable within your ecosystem, which I can appreciate from like a biz dev standpoint.
Mhm.
Um, can you just walk me through like your whole tool suite, and then we could do whenever you want to do a demo, we can
Mhm.
do a demo. I
Definitely.
love the live demo.
I definitely want to. One thing I feel like we should definitely talk about before I kind of like shill the product and stuff like that. Have you been following the Libra stuff by any chance?
I have been following it very closely.
Because the thing that you asked me, like the first part of this question was like, oh, like what does it take right now to be a profitable trader? I'm like, man, like this last week, I don't know, like if anyone is like a really profitable trader, and I feel like I just want to just like kind of address that in that sense where it's like, look, the market's gonna have downturns, and it's gonna like there's a I call it like the market beta, right? And it's like really rough right now.
Yeah.
So like I'm not really like convinced like during this like Libra whole thing. Like I think like there's like potentially like very deep implications for meme coins in general, and the meme coin market. And so it's like I think what we're seeing now is like it's less of like just like the way I almost look at it is like it's like a bubble where it's like been getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then kind of this whole Libra thing is like this watershed moment in crypto right now, where it's like, I'm not 100% like convinced that it's like, oh, like yeah, like just go trade meme coins right now and be a millionaire. I think in this past week I've lost like 50 soul trading meme coins. Right, I think a lot of like traders like because I did like a one soul challenge. I ran it up to like 150. And now I've gone all the way back down to like 50, 60 soul.
Oh
And it's
man.
like a lot of people don't necessarily share those losses, but I think it's really important to kind of like, be transparent about that. Is like right now, like meme coins are not in the best spot. I think there's like going to be some potentially like regulatory scrutiny. And then I think like overall, like in the long term, I actually think it's a very net positive for Solana. I almost view it, because I was on Solana pre FTX, during FTX, and post FTX, and like it's one of those things where like the ecosystem's kind of going through that like purging right now of like bad
It
actors.
do you think it's because people are calling it the scam chain, like the
Mhm.
scams, the rugs, the
Mhm.
insider like that purge was needed, right? Like I don't I hope hopefully I'm not like over categorizing this, but like it felt like we just needed a wipeout, and then for people to be like, actually, wait, there's a lot of bad shit happening.
No, exactly. Like that's kind of where I'm at with it. Is like Solana is like it's a tool, right? Solana is like a block. What is a blockchain, right? It's just a way to make transactions, right? Like in a decentralized way. And so like the way I kind of see it is that like that is just a reflection of our own like human nature, right? And it's like when they came out with the internet, like the first thing people did was like they just like watch porn and like made porn sites, like and like okay, like what's the implication when you give people decentralized finance, decentralized money, right? Is they're gonna go on like a crazy gambling addiction and try to rob everybody else. Like that's just like kind of what happens. And then I think once you kind of get it's like basically once you kind of get burned enough times, then the collective like consciousness is like, oh, like this sucks. Like we don't want to participate in this anymore. And then it kind of, I think, like I believe, like genuinely, like human nature is like majority good, long run good. But then I think like in the short term, human nature can be greedy, it can be bad, it can be like not ethical, right? And I think we're kind of weeding out that piece of human nature from the like meme coin or like even the DeFi ecosystem. And so that's just like my take on it. I think what that like means practically for people that want to get into meme coin trading is like, and this is like not financial advice, it's just my take on the market, is that you're going to see the runners that are going to come out are going to be a lot more focused on like real utility, real ideas, real teams. And so like a really good example of this was actually the AI meta for meme coins, right? Because like if you bought Swarms, like is Swarms really a meme? No, it's not. They've been like working on this for like years. And I think, and you saw like kind of the Venmo founder, the Vine founder, like they come out and make meme coins. One of my favorite coins that I hit early on was Lux. And so like that's my bet is I believe like the meme coin space is going to start moving towards good tech and like away from kind of vaporware celebrity bullshit, right? In the past week, I bought fucking like 3 different Dave Portnoy coins, a Tyga coin, fucking Central African Republic coin, as well as the fucking Argentinian president coin. And like they did horribly. And so that's kind of like my take.
The insanity of that sentence you just said is like I think most people hear that and like, oh yeah, I remember. Like that's insane. You told me that like 3 years ago that you bought those coins. I'd be like, oh, you're like a millionaire now. But
yeah, it's crazy. So I think that's just kind of where like the space is going. And it's like, right now the market isn't great. And like and that's why I thought like the paper trading idea was like, wow, this is like actually a perfect time to ship it, because what that kind of allows us to do is like give people the opportunity to still kind of trade and like enjoy the trading experience without necessarily getting burned right now by the market beta. So I'm happy to kind of maybe start the walkthrough.
yeah, can I turn real quick before we go
Yeah.
into walkthroughs? Can I turn this back on you and ask, as a builder in this space, as somebody
Mhm.
who's building out these tools and these sites that people use
Mhm.
on the meme coin side, a lot of this is you see there were indicators there. If you knew what to look for, and these people were just buying into things, and we've gotten a lot of this like I think most people now are a little bit more cautious, but having the right tools to like analyze or the right information in front of you, like are you viewing that as like a need for like as you build out like even a copy trade bot
Mhm.
instead of just buying in, like having like safeguards there so that people have, I wouldn't say it's not even edge, it's just like a safety slash risk cushion.
Oh no, this is super important, especially in meme coins. I think if anything, like this is an area that we still need to improve on greatly. Like, we don't have like good bundle checking methods. We don't have like, things like that, right? So I think like at least with meme coins and even NFTs, right? A lot of like these kinds of like speculative assets that like people are buying. I think like having the right tools, having a lot of the right kind of like even people right around you to kind of like I have to like even having the right people around you to help you like DD things, right? So like I'm in like a group chat, and then like sometimes like they'll be like, Max, like, can you check out this GitHub real quick? And then like I'll like read the GitHub. I'll be like, oh, this is a LARP, or oh, this is actually like real code. So like I think like that, at least in terms of like the market, has actually been like more important than ever, because you're having now so many coins come out, so many new assets come out.
I think that's a great point. Bless you, by the way. I totally missed that. What that's I love that. That's great. I think a great mentality to have, especially as someone who's building the space. Um, if you want to, we can jump into like walk through. I have tons of other questions here, but I think maybe as you're walking through this, I can pop those up.
Cool.
And I think you should be allowed to go ahead and share your screen. Guest can, yeah, you should be able to go.
Is my screen up?
There we go.
Cool. All right. So I guess like I'll just start with the new feature first and maybe work backwards. So like the newest thing that we just did recently is we have this new paper trading feature, right? And so just like for anyone that doesn't know how to access it, you actually log in with Telegram. So a lot of our kind of universe is like Telegram based, and I'll kind of introduce you quickly to our little universe here. So then once you have this, right, you can click the button, log in below. And then once you're logged in, you can see this is like my wallet, this is my wallet balance. And then I can quickly just turn this toggle on, and now I can turn on paper trading mode, right? And so now I'm on paper trading mode. We're gonna go to meme scope, which is kind of like, where you can kind of see new memes. And then you can really simply like, okay, what's up with this? So this coin, kind of nuking, kind of doing all right. We're just gonna throw 5 SOL into this. Bang. And then now I'm in at what, 51K market cap. And so I'm already down like, half a SOL. So we're gonna see if it's gonna have any movement. It might not, and we might want to get out. All right, we're gonna get out of this. We're at 4.38. We're gonna get out of this. Okay, now we're gonna find another coin. Vids that go hard. That's a cool name, but it looks like it already rugged. Easy coin, like this Kanye thing. It's
That's a rug.
Yep. But so I guess the gist is like now with paper trading, you can kind of go around and like play and kind of like dial in your own trading strategies without necessarily kind of like being spending money. Because I think the big inspiration for this feature was there's a like top Solana streamer, Spoono, right? And he basically suggested this idea on Twitter, and he was like, "Yo, like, is anyone making like a cool paper trading tool? Because like, I'm tired of basically." And me and him talked afterwards. He's basically like telling me, "Well, I'm tired of like telling people who want to get into the trenches, into meme coins, that like, hey, go like spend a couple $100 and like just get rubbed." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like where we saw the market need for this, where like, okay, like this would be a really cool way to let people kind of start experimenting with meme coins, like understanding like how to click on meme coins without necessarily spending money, right? Next, I wanted to show you, so obviously we saw this easy coin. I think there's a ton of speculation right now that Kanye is going to launch a coin. I think like there was a CoinDesk article about
it. CoinDesk article came out this morning saying that it had leaked that it would be, I believe it was Sahil's group launching a token, 70% retained to Kanye, 20% to team, 10% I think strategic. And they're suggesting that's coming out today. So you're seeing tons of YZY scam coins. Essentially,
we have his Twitter. This is his Twitter, right?
Yes,
so
this is his
we're gonna show you how to snipe the Kanye West coin, right? And so we're gonna come over here. We got the Sniper XYZ bot, right? And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna run this command called snipe X, right? And then I'm just gonna put in his name. And so when I do this, when Kanye West drops any contract address, I'm gonna automatically snipe that contract address. So it's gonna be much faster than I could possibly see it, buy it, all that shenanigans.
How are you guys handling? Because I think this is like, I've always had this question for like snipers.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like, there has to be I guess like on like the bribe and prio side, like you have to be able to fulfill that actual order. And for a
Right.
lot of these hype things, you have like insane, like it's insane. And
Mhm.
how are you handling that?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. So you can actually go into your settings, right? And so
Okay,
we have these different settings, right? So you can have like MEV protection, you can have fast, turbo, bribery, right? And kind of the way it works is like, so you can also customize it in terms of what your priority fees are. But what we do is like for fast, we use the like top 75% of priority fees at the time. So it's dynamic, and we just like do the calculation, and so that way like you have a really good chance of getting it in. Turbo, we'll like take the top 90%, and then we'll like try to get it in. So we try to have as the least amount of kind of like blockchain understanding for users. So that way it's just like, okay, like, do I want fast? Do I want turbo? Do I want bribes? Do I not want bribes? And it's like that. It's try to keep it that simple. Like bribery is just like kind of like tipping the validator, right? And so
hmm,
you have a better chance of getting it in. Typically for me, my ideal settings is usually for auto trading. I actually don't turn on any intense settings because it causes me to kind of drain more money quickly, right? But then if I'm manually trading, I will use like a bribery or a higher, oh, the allergies,
bless you.
or the priority fees.
Gotcha. Okay. So use slash snipe X. You can put
Hmm.
in the Twitter that enables it, and then you can go into your settings, and then from there you can basically set that up.
Yep.
Um,
So it's like three steps, right? So one, you run Snipe X, the Twitter handle. Two, this is like an ergonomic we probably need to change, right? But then you can click on his name, and then you can edit how much you want to buy. So that's what I
gotcha.
did here. So I changed it by default. We like do like 0.01, right? So I changed that to one soul. Then lastly, and the last step is optional. If you want to like kind of mess around with your MEV protection, your bribery, your priority fees, you can do that in slash settings. So that's steps one, two, and three. What's also cool is you can set up these kind of Twitter monitors, right? So what you can do here is you can run this command monitor X, right? Kanye West, right? And what this will do is anytime Kanye tweets, it'll actually ping the group chat too. And what's cool is like if he tweets a CA, we'll kind of show you the CA and we'll give you an option to buy it there. So let's say you don't know if you want to automatically snipe it, you can use this monitor command in your like alpha chat, your group chat, and it'll give you an option to snipe it when it comes out, and then all your friends will be able to kind of get in on the action too.
I, that's actually pretty sick. How like wide this is. I think that should be noted also from like somebody who's looked at a ton of these different like monitor like maybe like monitor agents because I haven't gone into like the sniping side,
Mm-hmm.
but you have so many that are like it just shows a CA or it just pings you when somebody buys. You guys are slowly building out like a methodical system of all the tools under one company that you can get all this stuff, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No, it's really important because I think for most people, right, like they have their like trading workflow in Telegram and then in their like kind of web UI, right? And what's kind of like been a piece of feedback we heard from people why they really wanted this feature, right, was that like then they would have to go to Discord to set up their own like Twitter monitor, right? And so then that adds this other step to the workflow for them. And so having them being able to kind of have the Twitter monitor already in like their native workflow, which is their Telegram chat, and then just go back to trading, back and forth, back and forth. It kind of just like simplifies it for them. So this has been actually a very popular feature that we don't even like market it too much because we're like, okay, cool, like it's like really popular and like we don't want to like make it like scale too crazy. And so that's kind of the Twitter sniping side. And then like very similarly, you can see my bot is running, right? And like what we can do as well is like we can also like any other like Telegram bot, we can put in the like any contract address, and we can automatically purchase it as well. So I can put in this coin. Actually, this coin is a let's do this one instead. Ooh, this one's kind of running right.
Is that at bond? I guess like when it migrates.
So for migrating, we have a feature where while it's in migration, if it got pinged in like a group chat,
Yep.
we'll try to like auto snipe it for you. It's not like the most refined feature at the moment, but that's something that we're trying to improve on as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just keep going back to like, it's so funny because I trade meme coins to an extent, and for me it's just I get pinged on something, or I see something, I'm like, oh, this is interesting, and I buy it. But I don't have like a built out like tool set, and it's an area that for me on like the AI front, I'm like heavily going into like, all right, how do I take a CA and fully understand what I'm about to buy or considering buying?
Mm-hmm.
But the feature set, having these things that you can go to and like get information, um, execute faster, be alerted of faster, you have to have at this point, if you want to be early.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think that has been like the primary thing. Do you see it shifting from being early to a different like metric?
Definitely. Yeah, that's actually really you're asking the good questions.
I know.
The reason why I do think it's gonna shift from being early, right? Um, is because like if you kind of look at it, right, the current incentive model from like low market cap to high market cap, whether that's on the bonding curve or whether it's like the Libra Trump stuff where it's like kind of this insider coin launch, right? And so if you're early and you're buying Trump at 200, 500 million, then you're making money. But if you're late, and it's like, it's on Friday night at like, whatever hour, right? If you're late, you're like, you're the exit liquidity, right? And the reason why I think it's going to shift from that is just because I think right now the incentive structure is like, it's perverse in the way that it truly benefits, like basically two sets of people, right? You're like chronically online and you're super early to stuff, right? And like that's that's good on you, right? And then the other set of people, and I think that's where we're seeing this kind of Libra fallout, is like the insiders, basically. And then obviously like maybe some people are both. But the way I kind of look at it is like the current incentive structure is like really biased towards like that group. And I think, if like we didn't have this Libra stuff, I think, it would kind of continue being like that. But I do think that like kind of in the future, where this market's going to go is going to be towards more like conviction, like betting, and like, because I think that's really like the essence of like DeFi on Solana. It's not, oh, I'm getting like early into dog shit celebrity coins, right? It should be that, hey, like I believe in this idea, I believe in this team, I believe in, what they're building, what they're executing on. I'm going to buy it early based off my conviction. I believe something about this idea, or I believe something about this team that the market doesn't believe in, right? And then it's up to that team to kind of like prove the market right or wrong.
Right.
An example of this is like when I saw the Lux coin, right, being like kind of a developer and like having kind of like seen different developers around, right? When I saw that kid do his little video, right? He did like a little selfie video, like introducing himself and the coin. I was like, oh shit, this guy's like Ben Awad, like, and he's like a influencer programmer guy that I really like to follow and watch. And so that was kind of like, that moment for me where I was like, okay, I'm going to take the bet on this guy. I'm going to like throw like 50 SOL in this coin. And so I think that's where the market is going to go. I don't think it's going to be kind of in this kind of incentive loop of like insider, like early sniper types.
Yeah.
Although like obviously for us, like we do want to like try to even the playing field and give people the tools that they might need.
Love it. I think there was a right answer to that, and I think that was the right answer. I just don't. I think we've played out this casino meta that we were playing in, which was just get into the like. There's going to be a handful of runners every day. and you just want to buy into the one that shows the first sign of life the earliest. And so that's the game you're playing. And now it's turning into, okay, what pattern of indicators of a real good token? And that comes down to not only what's on chain, but like what is the GitHub look like? What is the quality of the linked founders? What is the, if there's a white paper or a roadmap that's laid out, what is like the actual feasibility of that? You're gonna have to become smarter than just being like, I can click buy and sell.
Mhm,
Or you're gonna have to have a tool set alongside you that allows you to do that. So
mhm.
I think that is 100% the direction we are heading.
Cool.
Now, back to obviously what you are building here. That data side is really important. How are you guys approaching like fetching, distilling, analyzing this data, or how are you like planning to as this kind of develops? Because you are positioned in an interesting spot where you are able to kind of see through the use of your tool, like, okay, where is attention moving?
Mhm,
Which is important.
mhm. Yeah, I think it's like one of those things where, at least on the data side, right? Like, there's a couple really cool pieces of data that we have, right? It's like kind of this combination of like on chain and off chain data, right? And
Yeah.
like, this is something that, like I've kind of seen, through like Soul Sniper being an NFT marketplace, right? So it's like kind of the on chain data, right? Is like having just all the metrics on like holder counts and like trading volume and like, like all the kind of like on-chain metrics. But I think like one of the more interesting indicators that we can also kind of like help like traders with is also like showing off-chain data. And I actually have a pretty good example of this
I
actually.
love it.
Uh,
We've yet to have a guest come on and have like real live demos and examples. So I love this.
cool. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we're live on your screen.
Okay, cool. So I should have bought this coin. I was looking at like 40K when we were doing this. All right, 75K. All right, so I thought we spotted it earlier, but here there's a cool feature that I think kind of exemplifies this. We call it collar scan, right? And so what you can do with collar scan is you can actually see all of the different like public channels and their performance in terms of calls over time.
Oh
So
wow.
that's like a really interesting feature is like because we have this Telegram copy trading bot, right? And this kind of color scan does a good job like shilling it, like creating meme coins while AFK, like devil emoji, robot, money bag. Um, what you can do, right, is like you can basically see like in terms of like, okay, like what are the chats like? Okay, how many times have they called something? What's their average? What's their win rate? What's their average multiplier? Then we have a link to the chat as well, so you can kind of see like who's actually in it, right? Like, and then you can actually subscribe. I think I'm gonna be honest. I've heard like some of these are like maybe they're like pumping and dumping their own coins. I'm not sure, to be honest. So you have to kind of do your own research. I'm not telling you just to subscribe to any one of these chats. I'm not also trying to accuse anyone. What we do, right, is basically anyone that uses our Telegram bot to like subscribe to. So you can basically subscribe it to any public channel, right? So Pow, like he makes these really great calls, right? So what I can do is I can actually take his link and then I can like subscribe to him just like this. And so anytime Pow has a call in his channel, it'll automatically buy that for me.
Oh wow. Interesting.
And so what we've done is we've aggregated all the data. For privates, we actually let you see that data for anything that you are personally subscribed to. But for public chats, right, we limit it to only like the public ones available. And so it's kind of like we want to be sensitive with like kind of the data like
Yeah, there's a big data concern there for
yeah.
sure.
So we're not trying to like, show anyone's private calls, but like if you are running a public Telegram channel, and people like are subscribed to you, we make all of that data transparent so you can actually see like, okay, in the last week, like what public channels have actually done the best. So that's like kind of an example where we're able to kind of take that off-chain data and then like supplement it with the on-chain data of the trenches.
Wow. Yeah, I see this is back to the original question. we aren't seeing a lot of trading terminals. We aren't seeing a lot of participants in the space start to branch outside of like you like here are the holders, here's the trades, you buy the coin, you sell the coin.
Mhm.
Good luck, have fun. Like these are the additional signals, these additional tools that I think excite me and make me be like, all right. And again, the whole reason I have people on this show is, are you changing the industry? Are you trying to like innovate? Are you trying to do stuff different? Like, do you stand out? And this stands out from the rest of the pack. So I love it. I love it. I'm gonna have to come back to the channel here because you posted about having this conversation with me, and you said maybe show some alpha. So I got to come back to what are you holding back? What do you have in store? Because I know you're holding on to some stuff here.
Oh man, I'm an open book. I kind of, I think I probably meant the features that I've been working on. I think in terms of like, okay, like I gotta show some alpha now in terms of like what we're doing next. I think, man, it's hard to say. I'm gonna be honest. I think, like the couple things that I will say is that like I think directionally with the market, what I've kind of mentioned with like where I think meme coins might go or where I think Solana DeFi might go, I think that might be directionally where we're gonna go. Meaning that like I want us to not only just like I guess like yeah maybe I can give a kind of high level idea of where I think we want to go.
I was kind of just messing with you. I don't want to put you on the spot
Wait,
here.
wait, this is a great question. I had a tweet yesterday, right? And I wrote, "We're not an NFT company. We're not a meme coin company. We're a DeFi company now." And I think that's actually kind of why I wanted to talk about the Libra stuff because I think it's just like it's like a tectonic plate shift, in my opinion.
100%.
And so the way I almost look at it is like we're like as a company, right? We're not just gonna focus only on NFTs. We're not just only gonna focus on meme coins. We're not just gonna only focus on giving people more tools at the casino. Does that make sense? Like we really want to be kind of like a DeFi team on Solana, and really kind of like think about how we can like potentially create better like ways for people to like make those transactions. So I think that's kind of like as much alpha as I can kind of get into, but it's like the meaning behind it is that like we're not just gonna only focus on like how can we give you another 1% edge to like trade a 5K pump fund shitter a little bit better.
Love that. That is again, the transition from you guys being only NFT focused to then meme coins, and then I think you guys realizing, oh wait, we can be the the toolkit for dozens of different things within the Solana ecosystem, but we're gonna do it under one roof and make it the like, why have 30 tabs open when you can have one Telegram channel or one website open and do it all right there?
We call it the trading layer. I think Beanie actually coined that for us.
The
So
trading layer.
the trading layer. It's in our bio now.
That is a Beanie branding term
Yeah.
if I've ever heard one. What is it like? I gotta ask because I've had on okay, well wait, because I've had on the Careers Quest founder Matt, who I love.
Mm-hmm.
One Beanie's invested you through GM Capital,
Mm-hmm.
and I had this conversation with Matt, and I told him, and I have a long history of Beanie, and I understand him very well. He
Mm-hmm.
only invests in builders that are at the top of the top of the top.
Mm-hmm.
What has it been like working with him as an investor in the company?
Oh man, it's been honestly like dude, it's just been so great. Like I'm just gonna be honest, it's like it's so good. Like it's one of those things where like when I started, I'm not trying to like I'm really grateful for every like investment dollar that we've ever received as a company, right? But like like when I first started Soul Sniper, I was like a little bit maybe like inexperienced, right?
Sure.
And so, like I didn't really understand like VCs and like what they did and like what they may or may not promise they would do, right? And I think like my experience working with Beanie is like literally like he is the best investor in crypto ever. Like I've never, at least as a startup founder, had someone that's been like as helpful, as supportive, but also like as real too. Like when like Beanie, like I had this call with him yesterday, right? And he was really sharp about kind of pointing out things that we're not doing well, right? So it's not like I think a lot of times with like the founder investor relationship, you kind of like at least how I feel about it is like the more typical one is like, oh, like, here's like some money and like if you need some help with X, Y, and Z, like we'll help you, but it's never kind of like a really strong like relationship in that sense. And I think where like Beanie's kind of like, I call him our best investor, right? Is because like he really like he's tapped into the market, he understands the market, he like will like actually like facilitate the right interactions and like get you in front of the right people. He's like, no one's like better at Twitter than Beanie, right? So like he's like a marketing force in his own right. And then on top of that, right, he has like a very deep product sense. Like he has a lot of kind of internet like e-commerce type of experience, right? So he'll kind of like point to areas where it's like, oh, like your site's not optimized here, your site's not optimized there. It's like, oh, like thanks, Beanie. Like now I know what to do.
But he holds you to the highest standard, it seems like. That has been the consensus across every founder who I've interviewed that he's invested in. It's like, yes, like we could be doing well, but he'll be like, oh, but you could be doing this better. And we want, like, he just wants the best. Because I think he sees that like you're a good builder. So let me help you build the best thing.
Yeah, he's really terrific. Like he's literally like it. Like if you're like a founder and like in crypto, it's like I don't know who else you would want on your cap table. To be honest, like
Beanie, if you're listening, I want the marketing check from this stream at this point. That is one of the best reviews of an investor relation I've ever heard from.
yeah, it's literally like I can't even lie about it. It's like he's the best. Like we talk quite a bit, and like it's just one of those things where it's like I've never kind of had that experience before, and it kind of made me think about. I was like, oh, like maybe like like I need to have a higher bar for investors. You know what I mean? Because like when I first started, I was just kind of like, hey guys, like I'm running this little website. It's called Soul Sniper. Like if you would invest, like I'd really appreciate it. But then I think after kind of working with Beanie, I'm like, what man, like like there's levels to this, and like he's just on a different tier than like anyone else.
Hands-on, gotta be in the trench. Not even the trenches. You gotta be immersed in the ecosystem of crypto, and I think also care about the checks you write. That's the way I view it.
Yeah.
The trading layer that he has coined here. Damn. So he's coined what was it? Token bound assets, and now the trading layer.
He's coined a lot of other stuff too. There's another, I think the team on his he has a badge, right? And I think he coined that one too. I forget what it was coined. It's crypto super app. So he Ramp X right there.
Oh, Ramp, yeah, the crypto super app. Yes.
Crypto super app. Like Beanie's so like sick, dude. Like, dude, he's the best.
Let's talk about this trading layer, because I want to get a full understanding of what it is and how it impacts, I think, Solana DeFi. Trading, which can be encompassed into non-fungible tokens and fungible tokens. How do you see that, like on the IO, like the input side, output side of trading, and where do you like, in your eyes, if you could wave a magic wand, like what do you guys become within the trading layer?
Yeah, I think it's just like kind of breaking down like the meaning behind it, right? It's like exactly kind of as you said, it's like you guys have all these different tools and you're wrapping it all into one, and it's like now you don't have to open like 30 different tabs. And like we've kind of done that with like the NFT stuff, and we're just kind of doing it again with like meme coin, like DeFi stuff, right? And I think that's just like the inspiration behind it. It's like it's just like an abstract idea where it's like, the input is really like you go to this one website, and the output is now you have all the best tools, like everything that you can need to like find that edge in the market to like from like Twitter sniping to like Telegram bot to like integrated with the web UI to like then like being able to like practice trading and paper trading, like having all of those things. And then like obviously like, we're going to continue to pump out a lot more features like by the end of this quarter.
Love that. How are you guys being a trading layer? Because I've thought about the data layer, the trading layer. But then there's the agentic layer. How are you guys approaching like integrating into other agents or providing the agents? I'm curious there because being and again, I understand it's like a branding term and I could be overreaching to an extent here, but there are levels of synergy here once you start providing these tools in vast, I guess, like application.
Yeah, I think one of the really interesting points that you actually made is the agentic layer. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
really that's a really cool idea. That's something that we definitely think about actually. And it's one of those things where I think you know, like for us, like at Soul Sniper right now, we're not necessarily like, doing really anything to kind of like really pursue that. But I think like for us, like we're definitely kind of like acutely aware of it in terms of like that's probably where a lot of technologies like moving towards. And like for us as a technology firm, like being like kind of in the know and like being ahead of the curve is like really important for us. So it's not necessarily, at least with regards to the agentic layer, like anything we're just like doing now, but it's something that we're definitely like keeping an eye on. We think that like at least like in this age of like crypto and AI, like we kind of see that being a long term thing and not just kind of like a like a short fad, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Can I ask you, and I'm kind of just shooting from the hip with these questions, and I think it keeps it fun and
Mhm.
natural, but I've noticed the chat from today has been uh, people love you, and it's clear that people love the product. Can you talk to me about like the community and like user, like
Mhm.
keeping users in sticky like perspective that you've kind of done because it's clear that you've done something right where people absolutely love you.
Well, it's really our community, right? It's not even me. It's like it's like a kind of the way I look at it is like it's our little like community, and I think it's like something that we carry in our like our tagline on Twitter is like we're community obsessed, right? Where that kind of comes from is like when basically our like entire founding team right came from Amazon, and like Jeff Bezos is a very like customer obsessed guy, and so we've really like carried that principle over. But I think in Web3, right, it's like what's like a big difference between Web3 and Web2? It's that like you don't win like in the same kind of business to customer relationship. You want people to win together as a community, right? And so that's like kind of like the whole thesis behind like tokenization, right? It's like, oh, like if I use your product, I should be able to own a piece of this network, own a piece of this protocol. And now we can kind of like win together. It's like kind of like, oh, like what if you got, $100 of Disneyland stock in 1970, whatever, And so basically we've kind of tried to take kind of a Web3 approach to this customer obsession that we learned from Uncle Jeff, right? And so we've turned it into community obsession and like really kind of investing a lot into our community. So Kenny, he's one of our community leads. He does the Sniper Show, and it's like it runs like 2 to 3 times a week, and like he gets on a show. He like shows the community all of our products and like gives them a rundown. We have our own Telegram chat where we actually like not only like trade with the community, but also kind of like show them like, it's like a really helpful place. So we have the Sniper Show. It runs on both Twitter and Discord. We have our Discord, which now is kind of transitioning into more of like a support area. And then we have the Telegram, which is the Sniper University. You can go hang out, you can trade, you can make friends. We can, show you what's up, help you out a little bit. And then when we were running like our launch pad and things like that, we had a slogan that was community eats first, right? And so we would actually, a lot of the times for the Launchpad projects that we were running, our community would be the ones that would be getting the whitelist to, buy the NFTs, for example. And so we've really kind of, everything we've done, like we not only reinvest it back into the business and the product as kind of you should, we actually also spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money reinvesting it back into the community as well. Because like that's really kind of the group of people that really like allow us to even be here, right? And so the way we kind of look at it is like instead of promising everyone this like massive airdrop that's going to happen, what we like to do is like we would like to just continually reinvest in the community.
A masterclass, and I think user retention, where other companies in this space have fallen short. Not to name any, but you can tell that having that connection, having that like, hey, you're part of this, we're here together, ask questions, trade with us, share your wins, share your losses next to us, really benefits you as a company. And I think that again deserves recognition for you guys doing that. Um, I'm curious on kind of like also the product side.
Mhm.
Um, you guys have done a really good job at like migrating from like NFT only into the meme side. How are you guys approaching like partners? Are you guys thinking about like integrations into other company? Like is that on the roadmap or something that you guys think about?
Not too much. I think for us, mostly, we're really focused on just like being the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
But I think what a funny story actually, that so I was having dinner with like the CEO of OpenSeas, Devin, right?
Devin, yes.
Uh, I think we were eating pizza, right? And I was like, oh, like, like, wouldn't it be kind of weird to have like both coins and NFTs on the same website? Like, shouldn't they be separate sites? And then he just hit me with like, I don't see why not. And so that moment actually inspired me. I was like, oh, let's just add tokens to our website. So I don't know why when you kind of was like, oh, you guys have done a great job on the product side. It's like it's not really a partnership with OpenSea or anything like that. But we have good relationships with all the other firms in the space, and it's one of those things where shout out Devin from OpenSea, like he inspired me in that way. And now we have tokens on the website, and we're gonna continue to focus on like serving our customers, serving our community, and like making the product a lot better.
Love that. OpenSea maybe hopefully will integrate Solana at some point. To this day, still no Solana integration.
Well, they were actually really early to the Solana integration. They did it, I think, May of 2022, and then I think they walked it back.
They
Like,
walked it back, correct? Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We'll see. I think OpenSea is going through a weird transitionary phase of you know they clearly have a long term goal that they're trying to get to. And we've seen OS2 come out. I think it's great.
Mhm.
And I think having that token out there does also make it a different position for them of like what features and what chains, et cetera, do we roll out, and
Mhm.
how do we protect. I think they have a lot going on. They have a lot going on. I'm excited for it. I don't think there's ever been a more exciting time in the crypto space. From like obviously it's not like not everything's up only like 21, 22, but
Mhm.
there's so many things that are coming to light, like being able to like open up Telegram and have like an instant feed of like copy trade click and then snipe, like that did not exist in like you couldn't bulk buy NFTs. I remember like Gem and Genie, like that was an innovation, being able to
Right.
be like, oh, I'm going to sweep 3 NFTs. That is a feature within a marketplace now.
Right.
That just like that is the place we're at now.
Yeah, I think it's the technology is going to like continue to get better, and I think like what I love about it as well is like the market is also going to continue to get like smarter, and like I just like it kind of goes back to what I was saying is I think like in the long run like humanity is like a net good in the world, you know what I mean? And I think it's like even though we're going to have those stretches where like maybe we have some scams, I do think that like in the long run, like that's gonna like what we're actually building here, like as kind of a core like financial infrastructure, like we're like early, right? It's like the majority of like my non Web3 friends don't use crypto every day, right? And so that's kind of like the vision that I see is like it just makes sense to me. It's like okay, like why does cash exist? Like why isn't just all the money just on the internet? Like that's where we're all at anyways. So that's kind of long term like really bullish on the future and like I just want to also say thank you a lot for having me on your show. I
Oh,
think
dude.
being able to kind of share our product and like share our vision is really really grateful for that.
Of course. And again, I have tons of companies that hit me up and I say no to a lot of people. This is like a joy to me to highlight people that I like and products that I like. And I've used it. I have bought my Creators Quest and I've bought other NFTs using on NFT marketplace and obviously on the meme coin side and token side. Or I'm sorry, the trading side using the trading layer. I will be integrating this into my workflow, obviously.
Cool.
Is there anything else, pitch, shill, prediction wise for the markets or even product wise that you
Mhm.
have to leave people with here?
I think that right now it's like, like I just want to keep it real. Like we're obviously going through a little, stretch where things aren't as hot, things aren't as great, but I do think like long term it's going to be a very good thing for, everyone.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, to the entire Soul Sniper community who showed up today and other listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you aren't already, make sure you're following Soul Sniper at Soul Sniper XYZ on Twitter. And then Maz, what's your Twitter?
OXMaz_.
There you go. Tons of stuff to come, more features being added, and you're obviously if you jump in, make sure you join the community. It's a great place. And even look, one of the goats himself, Matt from Creators Quest, hopping in here at the end. You'll love to see it. Look, that I think that alone just kind of shows the love that people, creators, builders, everybody has for this community you've built. It really does.
Dude, thank you so much.
Of course. Of course. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one and have a good weekend. Cheers.